Good evening, race fans. Welcome to the Core Racing Network. Tonight, we're here at Miami Homestead for the All-Star Race for the Kim's Cups and more Core Xfinity Series. As have a little fun tonight for the drivers, kind of let your hair down type of night. No points on the line. There is some cold hard cash on the line though, so there is something for these drivers to be racing for out here tonight. Different format than usual. It's not just going to be qualifying and then right to the main race. A little heat racing action for tonight. So it is going to be there's 8 pre-qualifiers for the event. It looks like there's 3 in the session here, so 3 of them will go right to the feature. The current ones that are here are Josh Van Westen, Jack Stoneman, and Jon Crain. They're automatically going to go straight to the feature. So if you're looking for them as your favorite driver, they're not going to be in the heats or the qualifying. They get the free pass, but it's going to be a max of 20 drivers making it the feature here tonight. So there's going to be 2 heat races that are each going to be 15 laps long, with the caution laps not counting in those heat races, to give them a chance to actually race their way in, and should be the top 6 in each of those heats going on to the feature, which will be a 50-lap feature. Drivers will have 1 set of tires in the pits to change. That is all, and then 1 fast repair as usual with their 50% of fuel. So we'll see if we get any kind of interesting strategies for that race. But not just an all-star race out on the track, we got an all-star race here in the booth as well. Carl Hamwork joining the booth by tonight. It's going to be Jack and Alan, as Jimmy is, well, he's in Florida, and but he's in Orlando. He is not home. He is he's taking a little vacation. So we'll give him the week off here. There's no points on the line, so there's no Jimmy on the line. We got Jack and Alan. Jack, start with you. How's it going out there tonight? And welcome to the Xfinity booth.
Oh, well, thanks for having me, Carl. Yeah, it's great to be here. Be interesting watching the Xfinity guys. You know, we come from the GT side on Core Racing Network, so it'll be fun to kind of mix it up and, you know, see if we got some chemistry, Carl.
Absolutely. Alan, definitely a little bit different. I know you guys certainly love your road racing over there, and you've been enjoying it, and everybody's been enjoying the broadcast over there for Core GT. But you get to step over here under the lights here at Homestead.
Yeah, definitely. It's good to change it up sometimes. Some of the crashes, I think, on Oval are pretty crazy compared to the roadside. So not that I want anybody to crash, but it's fun drama, right?
If you're not involved, it's great. You know, you're beat up in a booth, you're not involved, right? It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
now we do have one thing on ovals that you guys don't have, and that is a yellow flag. Do you guys know what that is? Do we need to explain that at all? I know you guys you get in the car and you run that 45 minutes or that hour or 2 hours, you just run it right through. But caution flags here tonight. Well, hopefully we won't see any. I mean, then you won't have to worry about it at all.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, I mean, I always heard caution goes faster, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, caution means green. Means you don't take your foot off the right pedal.
Well, certainly, this is a track that you don't really do that much here at Homestead. It's a lot of flat footing it and getting around these corners. You may have to lift a little bit or drag just maybe a little bit in 1 and 2, and kind of the same thing in 3 and 4. But a unique track here at Homestead. Not sure if any of you guys have had the experience of driving any cars here around Homestead, but it's a track that it's got a lot of lines. It's got a lot of different ways to tackle these corners. It's not just, you know, dropping down to the bottom and trying to go the shortest way around. You can rim right around the top as well.
Yeah, it looks like a really wide track as well. It almost looks like you can go 4 wide through some of these sections.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if that's actually possible, but
we've definitely seen.
We see that tonight.
Yeah, two wide for sure, 3 wide definitely, and I mean it's 4 wide is definitely possible. We'll see how this plays out here tonight, but we've got our starting lineup for race number 1 here, and we'll get it up here for you in a second. Again, it's going to be 2 15-lap heats to set this grid order, and starting order for race number 1 is going to be Tommy Ryan on the pole, JP Phillips, Joey Cruz, Kevin Foster, Cody Hemingway for your top 5, Dalton Drummonds, Jake Lesh, Tim Glass, Jeremy Gainey, Tater Bowman, Matthew Simmons, Luis Arduna, and Terry Jansen going to round out your 13-car field here for heat number 1. Again, 6 cars guaranteed to make the feature here tonight. Not sure if it's going to add more because of the drivers that are missing here tonight or not. It's iRacing and the heat format just it doesn't always like to work with me sometimes, so we'll see how it works. But at least the top 6 are going to make it here tonight, so we'll see who's got the hot shoe and who's going to make it here tonight. But good mix of drivers here. We do got the one platinum driver there with Cody Hemingway starting in 5th, but we got obviously some gold, some silver, some platinum, some bronze, and even Matthew Simmons there, who's definitely no slouch to the speed back there in the 49. We'll see what he can do, but already pacing, and we're ready to get some green flag racing here, boys.
Oh yeah, let's go.
Now, Carl, maybe you can shed some light on this. I see some drivers not taking the typical pit road going out on the track. You know, is that going to cause any issues for these drivers, or is that something that can be allowed on the pace lap? Yeah,
on the pace lap, when they come out of the pits, they're allowed to go right up there on the track, or they can take the line on the inside. It's fine as long as they line up in their correct spots on the actual track. It's one thing that I've kind of toyed with a couple times. Like, am I allowed to go out here? But yeah, I've yet to see any kind of issues. It's where me and Jimmy are still waiting, and I'm sure you guys are on that roadside for the pace car to be an actual object out there to really give us something to laugh at when somebody tries to go inside the pace car. But not the case just yet, at least yet. So we'll see how this works, but we'll send it down to Barney. He's got that green flag ready to wave here for heat number 1, and we are racing here All-Star Night. We start from the field heading into turn number 1, 2x2, heading by the digger cam for the first time. We got one sideways,
and unlucky gets in the wall.
Looks like we will have our first caution here of the night. And that 3 is already smoking. It looked like some cold tires, and I'm sure you guys seen it maybe a little bit over there in the GT circuit, that it takes a lap or 2 for those tires to fully warm up before you get a little bit aggressive with the cars. And it's the same thing here on the ovals, and you see already Dalton Drummond, you see him, nobody around him, just gets up there, maybe in between those seams a little bit, and the car just steps right out on him, and looked like it was going to be a single car incident, but unfortunately a little tag right there for Matthew Simmons. Gets him spinning right back around there. Looks like Tater Bowman gets a little shot there from the 28 of Terry Jansen, but then up into the wall. A little extra correction there for the 3, puts him into the outside wall. Heavy impact there. Looks like Luis Orduna maybe just scraped the paint on the outside of the car a little bit, but it's going to be a fast repair needed for the 4 of Dalton Drummond's.
Yep, and unfortunately it looked like a little bit of net code with Jeremy Gainey. About a foot of distance between the 2 cars, but I think enough for it to register as contact. So hopefully Jeremy gets away with that pretty clean.
Actually, I'm looking at it right now. Well, let's take a look at it one more time. I don't even think it was net code involved. I think it was the same thing. It looked like he just got to the outside there and got close to Tim Glass, and unfortunately the back end stepped out on him. This was right in front of the incident there, coming out of turn number 2, and chase it all the way down to the inside, but you see him just kind of working it back and forth, and eventually that front end digs in.
He's fishing. Fishing all over traction.
We'll take it back live. Looks like the Dalton Drummonds 4/3 coming back out onto the track. And it looks like Jeremy Gainey going to come back out here as well. I'm sure he had to use his fast repair as well, but as you will see, we'll get the lap counter up there. It is. It looks like it is counting laps as well. Which go figure. It's lap format. It's heat race format. It never wants to fully work with me. I know I definitely checked for not counting the pace laps or the caution laps. We'll see if maybe it resets once we get back going here. But either way, on the front row here, it's going to be Tommy Ryan, J.P. Phillips, Joey Cruz, Kevin Foster on row number 2, then Cody Hemingway, Jake Lesh, Tim Glass, Tater Bowman, Matthew Simmons, Luis Orduna for your top 10, as we're going to double them back up here and get 1 lap to green. We'll see that green flag next time by.
Yep.
Looking pretty good. I mean, we only had, about 100 feet of green flag racing, so these tires are still going to be pretty cold. Hopefully these drivers can still keep their tires at least somewhat warm and actually go green for more than one lap.
Yeah, and it can get tough here, especially when you get these shorter races, this little heat race here, only 15 laps. You're trying to get everything that you can as quick as possible. You got to get up there and get those positions, but you still got to keep the car. You can push as hard as you want, but as soon as those tires reach that limit, it's not going to work out for you too well. So now we'll see if Dalton Drummond's and Jeremy Guinea can work their way back up through the field. But either way, the drivers that are ahead of them now don't mind the a little bit of shuffling up here. But we'll get the green flag here once again this time by.
Yeah, it's been pretty good. Alan, what do you think so far of, this oval stuff? It's not something that we usually commentate on, but so far, what do you think?
These guys are under a lot of pressure all the time, 24/7. I'd say that's the biggest difference between oval and road coursing, because at least in road coursing, you build up some gaps and you can be on your own, and at that point it's really just a time attack and you're kind of your own worst enemy. But in this, everyone's just kind of stacked up 24/7. So it's got to be a lot of pressure.
I think a lot of times on the road side, things can kind of stretch out a little bit, like you're saying. Here it takes a little bit sometimes for everything to stretch out. And especially with these shorter races like this, it's not just a typical night where they get out there and they have 50, 60, 70 laps that they're just doing straight away. They got a quick little heat, and they got to make sure they get those positions to qualify for the actual main race at the end. Again, granted, no points on the line here, so just kind of racing for pride here tonight and a little bit of cash. But it's still, every time you get out there as a driver, week in, week out, it's your day of the week. Sometimes, maybe the only day of the week for some of these drivers to get out there and get a race in. So they want to do the best they can.
Yep. Absolutely. Looking back a little bit, I saw Tater Bowman get a little bit loose, come out. I think that had been turns 1 and 2, but he was able to collect it up really nicely, and he's going to be trailing a little bit, but he's still back on track and going green.
Drummond's working his way back up. He's inside the top 10. In 9th place, battling with Tim Glass. He's going to move into 8th, so really trying to work his way through the field. Right now, that bubble spot is being held up by Jake Lesh with a little bit of a gap in between 6th and 7th. As Lesh is running right behind Kevin Foss right now, who is behind one of the best battles on the track, and that's between Cody Hemingway on the inside of that 010 and Joey Cruz on the outside. As we look back and see Drummond's trying to catch back up with the laps. They tick away somewhat quickly here. It's a little bit bigger of a track here at Homestead, but you're still looking at 33 seconds a lap around this track, which is probably about a half a lap at some of the road courses you guys handle.
Yeah, half a lap, if not, a third. Yeah, you usually see about a minute and a half. Go to Road America, that's 2 minutes right there. So a little bit different of star racing. These guys are a lot closer, as you guys were talking about before. So yeah, that pressure is definitely on, but it's kind of nice. These guys are always in the draft, so they're always able to at least have some kind of management with that gap.
So down already under 10 laps to go on this thing, and see how this thing plays out.
Matthew Simmons, the rookie, 14 positions already.
14 positions?
Am I reading that right, or is the SDK messing up?
I definitely think it's messed up. Four positions, yes.
Yeah, I don't know why I added a 1 on there for some weird reason.
Well, I was wondering too, considering we only have 13 cars in the race. I'm like,
I said it. Yeah, I said it, and then I was like, wait a second. There's only 13 drivers. How does that make any sense?
It's making hell of a gains out here. He passed the whole field, he's lapping them out here.
He also passed the pace car too.
He is right now 1 spot out of the transfer and up into the wall. Look like Drummond's getting a piece. He's going to slide back, lose a spot there to Tim Glass. Trying to get everything up here. But yeah, as mentioned, Matthew Simmons only about a second off of Jake Lesh right now, but time is starting to tick down here as we're already completing lap number 8 and we got 6 more laps to go here at Homestead in heat number 1. Tommy Ryan leading the way, and you see him kind of just ripping that top line right now, nice and comfortable at the top. And it's definitely another thing that's interesting because of these short races like this. Don't have to worry about tire saving at all. Don't have to worry about burning up those tires. It's only a 15-lap race, so once those tires heat up, you can just kind of go for it.
Yeah, that's got to be a bit strange for these guys doing this small amount of laps and not having to worry about pit stops or fuel or anything like that compared to what they're used to racing.
Which they will most likely have to deal with that in the feature race, being a 50-lap race, and only 50% of fuel in the cars. Should see at least 1 pit stop in there, but again, only 1 set of tires that they can take, so you got to be smart about if and when they take the tires. But coming around this time by, it's going to be 5 laps to go here. Tommy Ryan still leading the way. JP Phillips in second, Cody Hemingway, Kevin Foster, Joey Cruz for your top 5, Jake Lesh in that 6th and what should be final transfer position, but again, we'll see if more cars get taken into the feature. Right now, Jake Lesh has a 1-second lead over Matthew Simmons right here, who's trying to hold off Tim Glass in 8th place. Dalton Drummond's trying to keep that thing out of the wall and trying to move forward, but it looks like maybe he burned up those tires a little bit early in this run. Holding back there in 9th, Tater Bowman. Good to see him just out here, as I know he had all kinds of issues lately. And first it was internet issues for the longest time, and then finally got everything hooked back up and ready to go, and then computer just completely crashed on him. So when I hear he's got a brand new computer with some good graphics as well, and out here running in the top 10, but unfortunately going to need some more spots to get up to the feature here tonight. These are doing it back here in 11th. Jeremy Gainey in 12th place, and then Terry Jansen was urged by his co-workers just get out there, give the old college try here tonight, and just get some experience out here in the All-Star race. And one thing I got to say with Terry, he's always got some nice paint schemes on there tonight. Not sure if he's got one on there tonight. If my trading paints is working, I know it's usually a pretty cool paint scheme on that 28 car, but still out here, still running, and you never know what happens towards the end of this thing, but the end of this thing is coming up here pretty soon, as this time by, we're going to have 3 laps to go.
Absolutely, it's looking pretty tame for the most part. It looks like Jacob and Joey Cruz both just kind of getting a little close to each other. Jacob's trying to make that inside work, but Joey able to keep that momentum up on the outside lane. So, I mean, they're not really battling for a critical spot, mostly just starting position, but every position counts in that main feature.
I mean, that's the big thing, is we get the white flag here, and they don't want to screw themselves over by missing the feature and racing a little bit too hard, but every position here essentially counts for 2 starting spots, because first place in this first heat will start in what will end up being 4th place in the feature. Second place in this one is going to start in 6th, 3rd, and 8th, and so on and so forth. So every spot is essentially worth 2 spots or starting spots in the feature, but that is going to put a wrap on heat number 1. It is Tommy Ryan taking down the checker flag. JP Phillips, Cody Hemingway, Kevin Foster, Joey Cruz, and Jake Lesh for your top 6. Those are the ones that are going to be guaranteed to move on. Again, not sure if it's going to take more. If it does, the rest of the field is as follows: Matthew Simmons, Tater Bowman, Tim Glass, Dalton Drummond, Luis Orduna, Jeremy Gainey, and Terry Jansen. So, boys, you got your first little taste of the All-Star race here tonight. And one thing that's nice about oval racing when it's a night race, you got lights. You don't have to worry about the car lights. No matter what, if it's a night race, there's going to be lights.
Yeah, it's looking really good, really clear. It's nice to see what's going on at night, even from the broadcaster's perspective.
Well, we got our starting.
Odds.
Go ahead, Jack.
I was just gonna say, the only time really that we get good lights for the GT series is when we do the Daytona races. You know, Daytona 24. That's pretty much the best lighting that we'll get.
Yes.
Other than that, it's all up to the car.
You get a little peek maybe at Spa and at a little taste of it at Nürburgring when you go through the GP circuit. But that's about it. Well, we got our starting order here for heat number 2, and it is going to be Chad Coleman, the rookie, who's definitely shown a lot of speed since he got in here. Starting on the pole, Grady Gherkin in second, Jeff Ryan, Chris Pope for your second row, Joe Sullivan, Graham Connolly for row number 3. Row number 4 going to be Tyler Skosen, Colin Flickiger, and Joe Thomas, Dan Phelps rounding out your top 10. Rounding out the rest of the field is going to be Dave Tilford and James Molyneux, but it looks like Graham Connolly maybe not starting from the field here, if he's starting from the pits, but he missed the start either way. We'll see if we get him out there on the track, but we're going to have another 15-lap race here. See if we can get it done.
Yep, absolutely. It'll be pretty exciting. Quick little fact with Tyler Skosen, he goes to UNOH, and that's currently the school I'm going to as well. And he is actually driving in the college series for the iRacing.
He's doing it again
college series, and
he's doing it again this season.
So far, it's been looking pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah, it's been looking pretty good for the school, and I guess they're driving pretty well.
Oh, Dan Phelps into the wall a couple times, and
Oh no!
they got a piece of Dave Tilford there, so a bit of a false start from some of these drivers on the drop of the green. Kind of put them back behind the 8 ball a little bit. Front of the field got away okay. Not sure if it was just tire spin or what the case was. Try and take a look at that here one more time, but already looking for the lead, possibly Grady Gherkin trying to take it here to Chad Coleman. We'll take a look back here at this green flag and back here at Dan Phelps and try and digest what exactly happened. It looked like everybody trying to jockey a little for position, and then both the 67 and 85 on the wall. And good job of avoidance by both the 12 of Tilford and the 94 of Molyneux, but that was not exactly the start that any of them wanted. It's going to be a real tough uphill battle now.
Yeah, we got a shout out in the chat for Dan Phillips. I think he heard the shout out and he's like, I gotta send it.
What'd you say? What'd you say? It looks like Graham Connolly not going to make the race here, and James Molyneux had a bit of an issue here as well. We'll take a look at it. And again, the same thing, cold tires, losing it. One thing about Homestead is if it's, I'm surprised I actually did throw a caution because he went right up in front of Dan Phelps, but spun down on the inside of the backstretch, and a lot of times it's not going to throw a yellow. Unfortunately, he doesn't get the yellow, but we got a new race leader, Grady Gherkin, making the pass on Chad Coleman here in turns 3 and 4. And you see right there Christopher Pope trying to stay up there as well. Good battle back here for 5th place as well. Jeff Ryan on the outside, Colin Flickiger on the inside. Oh, maybe a little contact there as well.
No. And that's going to allow Joe Sullivan and Joe Thomas both to catch up to that battle. And this battle for the transfer spot is on.
Which Joe is going to take advantage here. Looks like Thomas goes to the high side to try and get around Sullivan as they're both trying to run down the 6th place running Colin Flickiger right now. Good bounce back from Dave Tilford as well. One of your 2 platinum drivers in this field, but he was buried back there. Started in 11th place. Not sure if he got a qualifying line man or not, but started way back in the field and then almost got caught up in that incident with Dan Phelps early on. But he's fought his way back to the field and still has a chance as we get the running order up there. There we go. And show you guys where everybody is very close right there as Thomas had to chase it up there. And I think Tilford had to take some avoiding action as well.
Absolutely, he's really going to try and make this inside work. He was working the outside really well, and he just wanted to stick a nose in on the inside, and he was kind of committed to that inside line. So we'll see if Joe Thomas can make that work on Joe Sullivan. And I mean, they still have to work together anyway to catch up to Colin Flickinger as well for that transfer spot.
3 cars under the blanket here, but unfortunately all 3 are 7th, 8th, and 9th out of the transfer spot right now. But Flickinger's right there and he's trying to make that car as wide as possible as we go across the line about halfway through the race right now, and he's got a mirror full of Joes right now. As he's got Thomas now on the inside, slides up.
Yeah.
Sullivan now going to take advantage as well.
Pass.
Oh no,
Colin's going to lose 2 positions here.
Ow.
So now we got Thomas in that transfer spot, and Sullivan looking for it. Looks like Tilford thought about going to the inside, had to back out of it. Now he's going to try to get the run off the corner. Flicker close to that wall. Good job of keeping it off of there, but it's going to give the run to Tilford.
Yep. There he goes on the inside.
All this is going on.
Just trying to work that rear end too much.
Take a look at the front end. You see 2 completely different lines. Grady Gherkin running that top line. Chad Coleman all the way on the bottom of the track, and now it looks like they'll switch up here a little bit. Gherkin's going to go to the bottom, but Gherkin has held on that lead since he got it from Coleman on lap number 4, and now comes across the line, and we got 7 laps to go in this race, so we're past the halfway point. Been lean and green for this one, and you see how close it is. Battle for the lead.
Yeah, it looks like maybe Chad Coleman's just kind of waiting for his opportunity up to the very end. But I don't know, in these short sprint races, do you play that kind of strategy, or do you want to get to the front as quickly as possible?
Well, again, I mean, you don't want to throw away a transfer spot. Is kind of the big thing.
Yeah.
You want to be cautiously, aggressive. If the spot is there, if you think you can make it cleanly, sure, go for it. But if not, back out. But how about pass here on the backstretch?
Wow.
Sullivan gets a great run, and it looks like Thomas maybe got into the wall a little bit, but he's not going to give up that easy. He knows this is the 6th and final transfer spot, as they both are starting to catch up to Jeff Ryan here, and we're going to have a 3-car battle here for only 2 spots. Great run off the corner there for Sullivan, and Sullivan's going to look to try and get himself a little bit more assured and try and get a top 5 out of this thing.
Absolutely. Let's see if Jeff Ryan is going to help or hurt Sullivan and maybe allow Joe Thomas to catch back up. But looking like Sullivan is going to go right on the inside. He's going to stick it down low and try and get some more traction out of there. Yep. And he's going to make it right on through.
Wow, he is flying.
Sullivan on the move up here, as he finally gets back to his starting spot. Very close there was Thomas trying to get to the inside of Jeff Ryan. Skozen, one of the 2 drivers up the most spots, up 3 spots from the start. Skozen started back there outside of the top 6. He started 7th, and he's up to 4th place. And then Dave Tilford right behind this battle in 8th place. He's going to have to try and figure out how to get a couple more spots. But the time is ticking away. 3 laps to go already.
Yeah, he's got quite a bit of a gap between him and Joe Thomas as well, so he's going to have to try to find some time.
Meanwhile, pass for the lead. We'll take a look at how it transpired here, as Chad Coleman is going to get the pass done here on Grady Gherkin. And you see him going for the same lines again. Gherkin goes to the high line, Coleman goes to the bottom, and it just sticks real nicely here for Coleman. Slides up and just in front of Grady Gherkin as he takes that lead back away.
It almost looked like there was a little bit of net code right there as well.
Heading down now as we have 2 laps to go. Dave Tilford to the inside of Joe Thomas. Not over yet for the transfer spot. Good move there from the 12. A little pick move as he's going to get to the inside of Jeff Ryan. It looks like Joe Thomas going to try and go through as well. How about 2 for 1 on the backstretch for Tilford to move himself into the top 6.
What a great move by Tilford.
Jeff Ryan was already in the hot seat for that transfer spot, and he just got outdone by a car that was 2 positions back. So he's going to be really wanting that spot back, but we'll see if Dave Tilford maybe was saving a little bit of his tires for the end here, so he could just run away with it.
Well, if he's got anything left, he's got to put 4th on this lap. It is the last lap of the race. And it looks like Ryan tried to get a little bit too much out of the corner, lost some momentum. Now Joe Thomas to the inside.
He's going for it.
And
He's going for it.
got the elbows out there a little bit as Thomas going to get to the inside. He's going to take 7th place away. And again, top 6 is guaranteed, but it may end up taking more positions because of the drivers that are missing. So we'll see if that ends up being a pass that gets Joe Thomas into it or not. But Chad Coleman going to take the win in this one. Grady Gherkin, Tyler Skozen, Joe Thomas, Christopher Polk, Dave Tilford for your top 6. Joe Thomas, Jeff Ryan, Colin Flickinger, Dan Phelps, James Molyneux for your 11 cars in the field. Graham Connolly not starting the race here tonight, but either way, that is going to set our starting order for tonight's 50-lap feature. And looks like, trying to see how many it's actually going to take here. It's showing everybody right now in the grid, which makes no sense whatsoever. But if that's the case, well, I guess then everybody has made it. But it looks like 26 cars are going to make the feature here tonight. So either way, well,
it just gives us more to talk about.
Exactly.
More action on the track, so not too mad about that.
Well, we'll get a rundown of the starting order for tonight's feature, and it is going to be Jon Crain on the pole here tonight with John Van Westen, Jack Stoneman for your top 3. Those are the drivers that have pre-qualified in here, so they get their top spots here. Jack Stoneman getting through on his win last week. His win last week got him a guaranteed entry into the final here tonight. Tommy Ryan going to start on the outside of row number 2. Then you got Chad Coleman, JP Phillips, Grady Gherkin, Cody Hemingway, Tyler Skozen, and Kevin Foster for your top 10. Looking down through the rest of the order, you got Joe Sullivan, Joey Cruz, Christopher Pope, Jake Lesh, Dave Tilford for the top 15, Matthew Simmons, Joe Thomas, Tater Bowman, Jeff Ryan, Tim Glass for your top 20, Colin Flickinger, Belton Drummonds, Dan Phelps, Luis Arduna, James Molyneux, and Jeremy Gainey for your 26-car field here tonight. So not only did it take the top 6, it looks like it just took everybody. So once again, thank you, iRacing, for having such beautiful heat racing formats that I spend so much time making sure everything is right, just for it to just, take a big steamy dump on me once again.
Yep. Seems the iRacing way. I'm looking at Matthew Simmons' car right now. At least when I was sitting in the pit lane there, I don't know if it was the light shining off or what, but the way that the paint looked on his car, it looked like it was sitting in the freezer for a while. Just had a nice sheet of ice all over it. So,
it does, yeah. I think there's something up with his spec map. I think we noticed that before. It's just got like a haze on it. Like just pulled out of the garage or something. But either way, we're going to get this green flag, and we'll see the 11 Mountain Dew Maha machine bring us down to the green flag here tonight. Again, 50 laps on tap here. One set of tires in the pits. When will they use it? Will they use it at all? So we'll see how this thing plays out as we are racing and
already.
Like Tyler Skozen was one of them involved in this one. And we got a few that looks like they had a rough start. Take a look at this here again.
Tyler Skozen, Joey Sullivan, the number 76.
On the inside line, big backup, big accordion right there. The 55 involved, the 82, the 12, the 76. Quite a bit of cars involved in this one with some kind of damage, and that is not the start that they wanted to see here. They do have one fast repair. I certainly didn't want to see them have to use it on the start of the race, but a rough start there from the inside, and it gives Josh Van Westen now the lead. We are. I was going to say, it seems like everybody was racing pretty hard yet. I'm guessing they're just trying to catch up to the pace car.
Yep. It almost looked like Jon Crain either just, missed a gear or something, because it allowed Stoneman to get right in the back of him, and that's what started that whole accordion effect. But I just see Crain's car just move a little bit slower at the start, and that's how all that transpired. So hopefully we'll get everyone fast repaired and see what the damage is when they're back out on track.
Yeah, for some of those guys that go ahead, Alan.
Sorry, with the oval racing, is it on green or is it on the leader?
So the initial start is on green, and then every restart after that is on the leader. So this time it'll be Josh Van Westen that takes when everybody goes. But yeah, it's tough on that first start of the race, especially for Jon Crain. It's been a while, and maybe maybe the first time ever that he's had the pole in one of these events, short of when we were doing the reverse orders. But Crain, a bronze division member, starting on the pole, but it doesn't matter if you're on the pole or not. I mean, we've seen in the heat races there just a little bit of wheel spin or a little bit of a misshift or just anything can upset those cars, especially with cold tires on the initial start. But I'm wondering, for some of the ones that got involved in this, if they only have a little bit of damage, like maybe Grady Gherkin, if they're just sticking in there trying to get the crew to fix everything up without using that fast repair, as he was in there for 52 seconds. So I'm thinking maybe just trying to hold on to that fast repair. It is still quite a long race yet. Still 47 laps to go.
Yep. Yeah, like you said, it could happen to any driver at any point in the race. It was just unlucky it happened right at the start of the field and affected so many drivers. But that's part of it, and we'll just keep going, and yeah, we'll see what these drivers can do from here.
It looks like just double checking here. It is it's a $10 prize to the highest finisher in each division out there. So we'll get the top running drivers in each division up there to show you who is leading. It's not including the rookies, I don't believe, at least. So we'll see if there's any cash on the line there for either Coleman, Simmons, or Flickinger, which that very well could be. So don't quote me on that one, but right now it's going to be Josh Van Westen leading the way, and he will be the control car on the green flag. Hopefully he get this one to turn one before we get any kind of crazy action out there. But pace car lights are off, heading into the pits, and we'll send it down to Barney as he watches them take the green flag here once again.
And here we go.
Looks like a little bit of a cleaner start.
Looks like the 11 there of Jon Crain will be a little rough start again. He's going to lose a few spots.
Yep.
Couple bumps on the wall there for Joey Cruz on the outside, but keeps it under control for the most part.
Yeah, Jack Stoneman, Joey Cruz, Jon Crain are all within half a second of each other, it looks like.
We're going to have 4 wide, but we just had 3 wide entering turn number 1 with Chad Coleman. Is that kind of a little close right there?
Yeah.
Matthew Simmons and Jake Lesh with 3 wide heading into 1, and still hard battling here as... Again, it's 50 laps. It seems like it's a long race, but it is still a bit of a sprint out here for these drivers compared to their typical length of races. But Josh Van Westen, Tommy Ryan doing some battling. Van Westen running that high line. Looks like Tommy Ryan trying to get the pass done here on the inside. And we will have a new leader by Van Westen. Crossover. And I know this is not what we cover and not what you guys cover in the dirt, but a little dirt crossover there, a little bit of a longer asphalt slider there for Tommy Ryan, but now Server back here with a crossover zone.
Yep.
Back when I first started at college and at UNOH, we did a lot of dirt car racing, so learned the turn slide job real fast racing with some of these guys.
As you should, yes. I want to send a shout out and a thank you to all the fans tuning in here tonight. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe. Get you in touch with everything that CRN has to offer. Certainly wish we had Kelly out there on the track. And I know we got Joe Thomas out there on the track, and Missy out there rooting for Kevin Foster. We'll show you that he is in the top 10 in that number 8 X-Side machine.
Absolutely. saw Jon Crain and Taylor Bowman get a little bit of contact, but Taylor got it caught up nicely, and now he's right back side by side with Jon Crain, and they're coming around in the back of Kevin Foster, speaking of him. So I have a nice three-way battle right there.
Crain touched the wall a little bit into 3, but gonna pick up that momentum on the outside. But Taylor Bowman gonna make the pass, move himself up into 11th, and you see right back there Tyler Skozen after that fast repair, working his way back up through the field as that got a little sketchy right there into 1. And he's certainly gonna have to check the shorts there of the man behind the 55 on that one, as that got a little bit tasty there with Jeff Ryan. But you see momentum on the outside and just absolutely a rocket ship. He's gonna set it off into 3, maybe a little brush of the wall, but gets it back rolling here as he's battling now for 15th after coming back out. Back there in the 20s, so a good recovery here, but now maybe stuck in a little bit of traffic. Going to shove that 11 down the front stretch and try and get himself a couple more positions.
Skozen not afraid to find different lines on the track and experiment with where the traction is, and he's going to find himself tight a little bit 3 wide and got a little bit of contact.
Dave Tilford looks like he just made up. Looks like he's going to be 3 positions.
Yeah, this
gets the drive down low.
This is what Jimmy likes to call the battlefield back here. As you see, a ton of cars just all bunched up together. You got some cars that were maybe a little bit slower starting at the front of the field, starting to fall back. You got some faster cars that are trying to make their way through the field, and you got those cars that, this is kind of their speed. They're all right there together, 5, 6 cars under a blanket. As some great battling back here as Skozen now looking 3 wide on the bottom. Big move from the outside to the inside. Maybe getting the elbows out there a little bit as he's trying to move his way up there, but so is Tilford. He's going to hold off on the outside. A great pass for both those drivers on the 11 of Jon Crain as they continue to work their way through the field.
Absolutely, Skozen still looking on the inside right there. Tilford going all the way up high. He's going to try and get more momentum, but it only works if you don't brush that wall. So he's going to move behind Tyler Skozen, who's going to move ahead of Jeff Ryan, and Tilford going to give him a little bit of a bump track now to ensure that pass is done. See if Jeff Ryan has any kind of response on that outside. Nothing quite doing there. So Tyler Skozen and Dave Tilford both making up positions right there. So well done, those two.
Biggest movers of the race so far. Taylor Bowman up 8 spots after starting in 18th. And then Tim Glass also up 8 spots after starting back there in 20th. So making their way up towards that top 10. But we also got some bigger movers even in the front of the field. Cody Hemingway started in 8th and now battling for 2nd spot here on the track. Trying to keep Tommy Ryan within reach as 66 starting to stretch his legs here a little bit out to a 1.5-second lead here as we are 14 laps done and still got plenty of racing here to go. As for some reason we lost the track map, which it likes to do sometimes. I'll try to refresh it here and see if we get anything, but just the track map is just wonky sometimes. It is what it is, but either way we got some great racing and get you guys a chance to see some good old-fashioned racing here in the newly sponsored Kim's Kups and more. And I want to send a shout out to Zane Bierman. Unfortunately not here tonight as he's got the dog at the vet, so hopefully everything is good to go for him on that side. I want to thank him for bringing Kim's Kups and more on board here to sponsor the core Xfinity series for the rest of the season. And shout out to both Wade Enyart and Kim Enyart with Kim's Kups and more, with everything they have, and they do have a ton of stuff, and we've worked with them before with CRN. It was with the CRN Cup, and they provided the shirts for the CRN fans that won them out there in the chat for that one, and they have plenty more to offer. As they got anything from tumblers, the shirts. I think they've even dabbled into some trophies and things like that as well. But tons of stuff to check out, and you can check them out on Facebook at Kim's Kups and More. That's Kups with a K. Well, we got a good one going here. Is that Cody Hemingway still trying to work, and now he's trying to work on the outside at this time because he's got JP Phillips right there on the inside. I mean, Phillips is working his way up there. We've seen plenty of battling between Tommy Ryan and JP Phillips across a few of the series that we covered here on CRN, but right now they are 1 and 2 as a heck of a run there from Cody Hemingway. Man had to put it in the wall on purpose to stay off the back of that 78.
Yeah, those two have been flipping back and forth for a while now, it seems like. Try and take that second position.
Absolutely watching Matthew Simmons and Josh Van Westen getting at it, but Taylor Bowman, I'm looking at him right now. He is just about your biggest gainer, making up 9 positions, but Kevin Foster just got by Matthew Simmons with 10 positions made up. He's currently in 6th place, so he's doing very well for himself tonight.
Yeah, our rookie's starting to shine here with Coleman now battling and trying to move up into 4th place as Stoneman around the outside here. Seen a lot of drivers brushing that wall. You can brush it a little bit here and there. It's not going to take too much off, but that, they're about taking off the front bumper of the 138 there. Was it 25 of Jack Stoneman? I mean, he wanted to get up here. He wanted to get in the broadcast booth. Well, he's getting on the broadcast for sure.
Absolutely, a little bit of TV time never hurts with one of the best candies out there, in my opinion, as his sponsor. So cool to see that out there tonight.
Are we talking about Chad Coleman with the Kit Kat?
Yep, the Kit Kat.
Okay, yep,
Kit Kat car.
So it looks like we do have our first taker into pit road here as Jon Crain going to bring the 11 into the pits here as we are...
Taylor Bowman got into Jake Loesch right there. Looks like they kind of got it all figured out. Sorry to interrupt you there.
Yep, we're good. On the back stretch, it looks like everybody checking up there a little bit. We'll try and take a look and see if we can see the incident. Looks like this was the lap before. See right there, big drive off the corner from the 95 and great save by both the 51 and the 95 on that one. But yeah, as mentioned, Jon Crain in the pits here on lap number 20. It's our first pit stop here as he comes in with 30 laps to go. As you see, Taylor Bowman is getting some massive runs here on that 51, but maybe a little bit tentative after the little skirmish on the last attempt at a pass. Now he looks to the inside. Trying to give plenty of room there to Jake Lesh as he looks to the inside and try to make a pass for 13th position. But out front, it is Tommy Ryan by 1.5 seconds over JP Phillips, Cody Hemingway, Jack Stoneman, Chad Coleman for your top 5. Then Matthew Simmons, Joey Cruz, Kevin Foster, Josh Van Westen, and Tyler Skozen for your top 10 as we near the halfway point, and I would think probably some pit stops looming here very soon.
Yep, absolutely. I'm watching some of these drivers, and it looks like that front right tire is just not quite giving it the bite that some of these drivers need. And noticing a little bit of a drop in speed into these corners, so I would agree. The pit stop is definitely in these drivers' futures here soon.
Yeah, I mean, you take a look at the lap times that these drivers have run. Best lap of the race here so far. Looks like it's by your leader, Tommy Ryan, with 33.16, but his last time by 34.87, so a good 1.5 seconds off race pace, if you will, here late in this run. And I say late in this run, I mean these cars can go easily 50 laps on tires, but you're running a little bit harder knowing that you're going to have to come in for a pit stop. You're going to have to take fuel at some point or another, so you kind of drive that car maybe a little bit harder than you typically would, and not really worry about saving tires. Or maybe you have some guys out there saving tires, maybe you have some guys deciding to take only 2. Maybe some guys deciding not to take any and really try and gamble on this thing. Get no points on the line, just that cold hard cash for the top finishers in each division. So we got a heck of a battle right here for 7th position between Kevin Foster and Joey Cruz. They've been going at it for a while.
Yeah, they've been doing the switch back and forth for quite an extended period of time.
Yeah, absolutely. I have to wonder that some of these drivers like Skozen or Tilford, I know they're really experienced with saving tires, Tilford especially with the GT series, so I'm curious if they're just kind of hanging back and letting everyone else in front burn up their tires so they can do a no stop and just go straight to the end on the same set of tires, especially if we're cautionless for this race.
Yeah, I think with the amount of fuel that they have, only 50% fuel, I think even trying to stretch it out, I don't think it's going to be doable to get 50 laps. As we did see one of our top 5 come in, Cody Hemingway, into the pits, and it looks like I would think he's going to start a bit of a chain reaction here of drivers coming into the pits. As you see right there, another one, Chad Coleman from 5th place is going to give up the battle, bring the 138, and he needs a break, Jack.
You know, some of these guys, they need a chicken sandwich from the trailer, and you know, make a call, go to the bathroom, do all that stuff. You know, I get it. These drivers have lives, so figure themselves out and get back into the race.
As long as they don't get that grease on that steering wheel, because it get a little tricky. You start to grip that thing at the end, but right now Tommy Ryan again still out there, 1.6 second lead. It's kind of holding steady between him and JP Phillips. As we take a look at the lap times for the last few laps here between Ryan and Phillips, and you see just kind of, you know, ebbing and flowing back and forth, not really anything gained or lost for your top 2 here. Just Phillips just can't get into that draft of your leader right now, and just kind of stuck back there outside of the bubble. But we'll see how the bubble, but of course I should put those two together. But anyway, we got a couple more into the pits. Matthew Simmons, Jack Stoneman, Kevin Foster, Joey Cruz now off of the racing line and into pit lane, as Tyler Skozen in there as well. We'll see how these pit stops work out, and you guys know it doesn't matter if you're oval or road. Short pit sometimes works. The overcut sometimes works. It's so fun to see how everything just shakes up, because more often than not, I'm sure you guys see it over there as well, pit stops sometimes mean make or break every race.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, sometimes you know, you go into the pits and you hit the wrong button too. You don't mean to take tires or mess up on your fuel or whatever, and it just those kind of things can completely ruin your race, unfortunately.
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen, you know, lead changes between Ricky Renner and Mason Smith, your 2 championship protagonists on this last season, and there were a few races where it was decided by that pit stop, whether it was the pit stop itself, in lap or out lap. You know, every single bit of that mattered, and they're just as important as the race itself.
You see right now, Dave Tilford, Joe Sullivan, Dalton Drummonds, and Joe Thomas are the only ones yet to come in for their pit stop. Now Drummonds and Thomas in. But Tilford and Sullivan, they want to try and stay out here as long as they can, because you see right there, Tyler Skozen now making the pass, get himself back on the lead lap. He's in 12th position, so right now only 12 spots on the lead lap. So if a caution were to come out, definitely would be in the catbird seat. But you see the speed difference. Last lap by 35.1 for Dave Tilford compared to looking at Tommy Ryan. He was at Chad Coleman was at 33.2, so 2 full seconds faster with the drivers that have already come in and take tires. But Joe Sullivan, no stranger to just trying to stretch his fuel out for 1 extra lap. This is going to go here, and most likely we'll see him here on lap number 33. But worth the effort, worth the chance to try and get the overcut done. He'll have some of the freshest tires in the field for the final run here to the checkered flag. Going to lose some spots in the immediate here, but just got to bingo that entry. Looks like he did so, and got to give it to these drivers making this pit stop, because we've now gone through. I mean, Sullivan's got to make his pit stop and come out yet as well, but knock on wood, 23 cars, 0 pit road penalties.
Wow, that's insane.
That is impressive.
We've got a new race leader out here. It is not Tommy Ryan. It is Cody Hemingway. You've seen him charging up there towards the front of the field, but fell back a little bit. He came in early, came in on lap number 26. Chad Coleman in second place, came in on lap number 27, and then Tommy Ryan, JP Phillips coming in on lap number 30. But they are back about 1.5 seconds of your leader, Cody Hemingway, and sometimes track position is key. It's gotten him the lead by taking that short pit compared to everybody else. He's got 4 lap older tires than your previous leader, Tommy Ryan, but you know, Tommy's going to use up those tires to try and catch up to him, and then what does he have left to make that pass?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, burning up your tires, catching up to the leader. I mean, he has to make up 2.5 seconds, and I know that could be a real challenge at some of these tracks. Obviously, like I'm sure you guys have already seen, you know, and not much oval guys, so we don't know what track is good for that, what track is, you know, hard for that. So this is just as exciting for us as it is for the drivers and some of the audience.
We finally got the track map back up there, reloaded them one more time. We got the track map back up there, and we'll get the top spots in each of the divisions as well. You see a battle back here for 13th position. I'm sorry, 12th position as Tim Glass makes the pass on Taylor Bowman, and now is when you'll see some changes as you see the field. You know, those little skittles, as Jimmy calls them, spread out a bit on the track map. But it's these difference in tires, and you see it right there. Tim Glass, heck of a run there on Dave Tilford, and not sure what's going on here with the 12, but 12's got 2 lap more tires than these guys, and definitely seems like some issues for Tilford as he is sliding back fast.
Yeah, so I'm looking at the pit time. I think if I'm reading this right, he only had an 8-second stop.
That is why.
So that tells me, yeah, he didn't take any tires.
Well, yep, I don't know if that was by design or not, but, well, he's going to have to scrap that design as it did not work out here tonight. As he is starting to fall back, he's back to 15th right now, but in the lead, still by 1.1 seconds, is Cody Hemingway over Chad Coleman. But Coleman has got some company. The 66, Tommy Ryan to the inside, new position in second here, as Tommy Ryan has got his eyes now already set on that 010 of Cody Hemingway. JP Phillips not too far behind, looking to try and run down Coleman and move himself up as well. That is your top 4. Matthew Simmons having a great run here in the 49 as he is up into 5th place, up 11 spots after starting back at 16th. Jack Stoneman, Tyler Skosen, Joey Cruz, Josh Van Westen, and Tim Glass round out your top 10 as we're down to 12 laps to go already, boys.
And it's gone by fast.
It's gone by really fast, yeah. Look at the spread on the field, too. Everybody's got, well, at least the top 5, it seems like, got a couple seconds of a gap. And it looks like Tommy Ryan is, yeah, he's right on there on Cody Hemingway. Probably going to make a move on the inside right here. Take the lead.
Yeah, wasting no time as he gets down to the bottom, and
he's not,
easy as you like.
Messing around.
Ryan back into the lead. Hemingway, Coleman, and Phillips now for your top 4. As Phillips just hasn't been able to catch up to Coleman just yet, and unfortunately he needs to get Coleman and Hemingway to have a chance at Tommy Ryan here before this thing ends. Hemingway, I think he had the right idea coming in there early to try and mix it up there. Just didn't have enough tire to do any kind of battling with Tommy Ryan as we're down to 10 laps to go here. Look a little bit further in the field as Joe Sullivan battling here with Taylor Bowman. This is for 12th and 13th. But yeah, I mean, we did see some different strategies. It looks like for the most part, everybody taking 4 tires, but Joe Sullivan looks like he may only taken 2 tires on this stop. Trying to make it work out here, trying to at least get himself closer to the top 10. But Kevin Foster, fortunately, he was in the same strategy as Dave Tilford. For those Kevin Foster fans out there, I know Barry and Missy rooting for him out there. Not looking too good here for the 8 unless we get a late race caution or something happens here. He decided to take no tires, and unfortunately he's put him back here in 16th position.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, late race caution, especially happening here very soon, that would play very well into his hands because he's going to have easily the freshest tires on the field, and that's going to gain him loads of positions. He might start in the back of the field, but that will not that will change 100% after one lap has gone by.
And it's an interesting thought to, with only one set of tires in the pits to decide to try and hold on to those, or maybe, for instance, with Dave Tilford, he was involved in that early incident. Maybe he didn't uncheck his tires, and he took those set of tires on that first pit stop on lap number 2, and kind of made that mistake. I didn't notice if that was the case or not, but either way, up at the front, we've got a new man in second place. JP Phillips has moved past Hemingway and Coleman, and now Coleman trying to get up there and get into third position here, trying to wrap up this podium. 7 laps remaining here at Homestead All-Star Night here for the Kim's Cups and more Xfinity Series, and it's been a fun one. And you guys have getting a little bit of a treat here. I know it's a month before Halloween, but a little early treat for you guys here with the Xfinity Series going. Plenty of green flag laps for you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I think it's me and Alan, providing that green flag luck from the GT side. We don't have caution, so
you're right.
We just thought to bring that over here.
I don't have to explain what a yellow flag is. I love it. Good battle back here for 14th and 15th between Christopher Pope and Jeff Ryan as well. Looks like Joey Cruz blinking out. Okay, I thought he was going to the pits there because it right out for me for a second. I think he was just blinking out.
Yeah.
So I'm taking an eye back here at the battle for 14th and 15th between the 82 and the 34. But it's been a good one out here, and it's showing for these drivers. It looks like we did have 23 cars start the field, with James Molyneux being the last one there in 23rd. Jon Crain had the pole in this one, but didn't work out too well for him here as he slid back through the field. Had a rough couple start, the rough start and then the rough restart, put him back a little bit further in the field, and just out there getting some laps in. He's got a clean car, a clean Baja Blast number 11, and that's really all that matters. And you can bring that thing home, and they'll have to work on it in between tonight and next week as we'll kick the racing back off once again, and Jimmy will be back from his much-needed vacation, and we'll be back up here in the booth as we head to a fan favorite and the unofficial home of Core, Kansas Speedway. And I know a lot of drivers will be looking forward to that one as we get back to points racing with an 80-lap race at Kansas to wrap up the month of September. We got to wrap this one up. This thing is not over just yet, but a good lead here, as you see Tommy Ryan right there making the pass on the 11 of Jon Crain, putting him down a lap. He's got a 1.7-second lead over JP Phillips, but some great battling for the rest of the top 5. As you see Coleman getting close to Hemingway on the outside, right behind him Matthew Simmons trying to get up there and get himself a podium as he's going to send it to the outside here. These guys are rookies. Certainly they've been around the Core League for a little bit, but they haven't had their 5 oval races in here just yet, so that's why they are dubbed as rookies for the time being. Chad Coleman is newer. Matthew Simmons has been around for a little bit, and a little bit into the 010 there. Great save by both the 49 and the 010 as he tried to go 3 wide.
How did he keep that car under control from that? That's amazing.
The drivers really wanting that podium position bad.
Yeah.
It's always a coveted spot to be in that 3rd place, because it's pretty much one before the best of the rest. We've got a bunch of spotlight up there. I don't know, are we paying top 3 tonight?
No, it's just the top spots in each of the divisions here. Is got a battle between your boys here, the Ono H boys of Jack Stoneman, Tyler Scozen on the last lap here as Stoneman to the outside. He's going to make the pass, move himself into 6th, but out of the final corner, it is the 66 of Tommy Ryan getting it done here tonight. He wins the All-Star race here for the Kim's Cups and more Core Xfinity Series. JP Phillips finishing in 2nd. Matthew Simmons gets it done and comes home in 3rd. We'll take a look at the pass there he made on Coleman and Hemingway to get himself a 3rd place. And Hemingway going to finish in fourth.
13 positions?
It is indeed 13.
Is that right?
Or 33, maybe, you know, for you, maybe past 33.
Yeah.
So you see already on the inside, or the outside there of the 138, and then shoots the gap in between on the backstretch, and gets it moving again. Has managed using up all the bumpers. Doesn't have to bring it home clean at this point. He gets himself a third place here tonight. But that is how Matthew Simmons moved up 13 spots to get in there. But it is Tommy Ryan that gets to do the celebrating here tonight on the front stretch here at Miami. And this is a beautiful track here, a beautiful place under the lights. And Tommy Ryan certainly adding a little beauty to the front stretch there with the donuts.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Congratulations to all these drivers. All did a really good job in keeping it green, except for lap one. That was something to watch.
Yeah, get scared a little bit.
Good stuff.
Scared a little bit, you know. Heat one, get you the caution on lap one, and then the feature they get you the caution on lap one. Like, oh, this is gonna be a rough night. No. We got this. We got this. We'll give you our final results here tonight. As gotta make sure we're on the right one here for the feature. There we go. It is Tommy Ryan getting the win over JP Phillips, Matthew Simmons, Cody Hemingway, Chad Coleman for your top 5, Jack Stoneman, Tyler Skozen, Joey Cruz, Grady Gherkin, and Josh Van Westen for your top 10. Sullivan, Glass, Bowman, Pope, Jeff Ryan, Lesh, Drummonds, and Dave Tilford for your top 18. Nope, not platinum. No. Come on, work with me here. And then rounding out the rest of the field, it is Joe Thomas, Kevin Foster, Dan Phelps, Jon Crain, James Molyneux, Colin Flickiger, Luis Orduna, and Jeremy Gainey for your 26-car field. But we'll get our top 3 here in for their interviews, and well-deserved interviews for sure. And we'll give we got 3 guys in the booth, so we'll each tackle one at a time here, and we'll go ahead and roll it back here a little bit, and we'll start with our third place finisher here tonight. And Alan, why don't you go ahead and take the third place finisher here tonight, the 49 of Matthew Simmons.
Hey, Matthew, how you doing? This is Carl, Jack, and Alan in the booth.
Friggin' great. How about you guys?
It was great. We enjoyed watching you moving up the field as you gained 13 positions. Just walk us through your race. Walk us through your strategy there.
I mean, I was just trying to keep as close to the wall as I could be. Nobody wanted to use the high line, like the high line, and I was just able to just drive off and save my fronts. Seemed like people are having issues with front grip, and they just kind of wavered, but I just kept using the high line.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on your rookie win tonight, and overall P3. We saw you had a battle there with I believe that was Cody. It got a little sideways. How was that for you?
It was fine. I just had to keep. I couldn't lift at all. I'm like, I'm not gonna lift. I'm either gonna crash out or I'm just.
So you were pretty much just in like, I gotta send it. That's all I can do because the race is pretty much coming to an end.
Yeah, it's the last lap. Why would you lift? So
yeah. Exactly. Well, hey man, great job keeping that car under control. And yeah, is there anybody you want to give a shout out to or thanks?
Shout out to Connie, my parents, Cassidy. You guys, because you guys rock. I appreciate the broadcast every week. Coming from you, URCL, and not having a broadcast, some weeks it kind of sucked. But thank you guys for having the show. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Congratulations.
That is
you guys have a good night.
You too, buddy. That is your third place finisher here tonight, the 49 of Matthew Simmons, up 13 spots. And a great finish there, as whether that The paint scheme is looking right or not. Maybe that's what the problem is. He was just trying to ghost through everybody with that the little haze on that 49 here tonight. Second place tonight, Jack, is going to be the 78 of JP Phillips.
JP, it's Jack, Carl, and Alan in the booth. How you doing?
Doing good. Glad to be back in the booth with you guys here after a couple pretty sad performances from me the last few weeks.
Yeah, well, you definitely put in a great performance here tonight, earning you that second place spot. You want to walk us through your race a little bit? Tell us how it went.
Yeah, it started in the heat race. And being in that race with Tommy, I knew Tommy was going to be fast, period. So tried something in the heat race, tried to run with him, burnt my stuff up really early. So when we got in the feature, I was just trying to do something different than him to see if it made any sort of difference. And I think I was as fast as he was, or maybe even just a touch faster at the end of the runs, but what he could get out at the beginning of the runs, I just couldn't make up. So had nothing for Tommy. Pretty uneventful race other than that. So was just trying some different things, see if I could make something work, and just couldn't find that last little bit of speed.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we saw some of your battles working your way through the field, making up 4 positions. So definitely a positive note to end on. And, second place, that's always a good spot to be in, even just being on the podium. So very well done from you tonight. And anything you want to add to it or talk about your strategy?
No, just a lot of fun to be here racing with you guys. Glad we got a full field, and always fun to ride around there with Tommy and these guys. And yeah, it was just tried something different in the feature, saved my stuff. Cost me a few positions there at the beginning, but I was pretty confident I'd make those up. Just not enough for Tommy. So a little disappointing there, but glad to see him win, and we'll try to go get him next week.
Yep, absolutely. It was a great performance. And anyone you give a shout out to or thanks tonight?
Just the guys here that I was racing with, Tommy, Chad, and Jeff. We put some time in here to try to be pretty decent in these races, and I think it showed up at least 3 of us there in the top 5. So good performance. Glad to see those guys up there, and glad to talk to you guys again tonight.
Yep, absolutely. Well, congratulations on your second place finish tonight, and we'll send you back home to celebrate with friends and family. So congratulations.
Thanks. Have a good evening.
Yeah, you too.
That is your second place finisher here tonight, the 78 of JP Phillips. Top spot here tonight is going to go to the 66 of Tommy Ryan. Tommy, I think the only one that may be disappointed tonight and maybe doesn't even realize it yet, but Jimmy not being here with me in the booth. He's on vacation, though, so if he's disappointed on vacation, then he's got issues. But he doesn't get to see you bring that 66 to victory lane. And it was a bit of a longer night here for you tonight. You weren't one of the pre-qualifiers, so you had to work your way through the heat race, but kind of didn't waste your time there. Didn't waste your time in the feature race either, getting your way to the front.
Yeah, I tried to make it exciting as we could on the start there. I wasn't going to worry about tires and all that stuff. I was just going to go get it, and if I burned them up, they were going to burn them up. So yeah, I just set sail, man, and just tried to have as much fun as possible. So yeah, we just went out there and dug as hard as I could and tried to get put some dirty air behind me so those guys couldn't get back to me.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit different strategy for tonight's race. Being it's only 50 laps long. You're going to have to make one pit stop with the fuel mileage, but only one set of tires in the pits as well. So I guess your strategy is kind of already set unless you think about saving tires at all and going for the 2-tire strategy. Obviously, your strategy worked, but I mean, were any other strategies on the table, or was it automatically just going to be run as hard as you can, take 4 tires, and then run as hard as you can?
Yeah, I mean, that's all you can do because, a lot of that stuff is going to be luck where if a caution had come out with, 10 to go, I think there was some guys that didn't take tires on the stop and they were going to be in the catbird seat if that came out. So you just make the decision that suits you best and you just, see how it pans out. And this time worked out really well.
Well, it was definitely some good battling all the way through the track, and it wasn't like it was just a runaway for you. I mean, I think the biggest lead you had was maybe at the end here with a 1.7 second victory over JP Phillips. So it wasn't exactly like you were just stepping away from the field.
Yeah, once I got out in clean air, I was not to take anything away from that, but I was just trying to manage tires. Where if a caution did come out, I'd have something left. So I kind of backed off and just make sure I wasn't overdriving the car at that point. As soon as I got the lead back, I probably backed it down like 15% of what I was doing. But yeah, I mean, it was just a go get it kind of thing. And if the caution fell, the caution fell. You can only control what you can control. And I was just trying to get out there and get it done.
Well, that you did as you bring home that 66 into victory lane for the All-Star Race victory. So congrats from everybody here and at the CRN booth. But before we let you go and get out of here, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Yeah, thanks. My primary Northern Tool and Equipment. Head over to northerntool.com and get everything you need. Obviously the holidays are right around the corner. We're going to have some great sales coming up in November and whatnot. And so, yeah, and obviously thanks for Kim's Kups and More coming on board as the series sponsorship. So head over to Facebook, get those guys a like, and buy something from them if you're able. And we'll see you guys next week.
Sounds good, buddy. Congrats again on the All-Star victory, and we'll see you next week at Kansas.
All right, bud. Thanks.
That is your winner here tonight, the 66 of Tommy Ryan. And want again shout out to Kim's Kups and More for coming on board for the sponsorship, as they are your one-stop shop for all your apparel needs, whether it's a custom 20-ounce tumbler to fill with your favorite post-race beverage, a 40-ounce glitter tumbler for your morning coffee after you're up all night celebrating that win, or custom clothing apparel with your favorite team sponsor or maybe your favorite broadcasters, wink wink, a custom license plate for your everyday ride, even mouse pads to help you rearrange that pesky new UI. You can choose from already created products or have them custom made to your liking, whatever your pleasure. Kim's Kups and More has it all. Check them out on Facebook today. That's Kim's Kups and More K. Kups with a K. But they are they're definitely great. And like I said, we worked with them before with the core. The CRN Cup, and got some CRN t-shirts out to some lucky fans out there. And I want to send a shout out to all the fans out there for tuning in here tonight, and hit that like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And like Tommy just said, head on over to Facebook and check out Kim's Kups and More and give them a like as well. But that is going to do it here tonight for our broadcast. Alan, Jack, I want to thank you guys for jumping in the booth and jumping out of your comfort zone here a little bit over on the oval side and hanging out with me.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was a great time. Hopefully you'll allow us to do it again.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we saw a lot of really good battles, so it was good. It was fun.
Yeah. Kept you entertaining for sure. Well, that is going to do it for all of us here in the CRN booth here at Homestead Miami. We'll see you at the track. Bye.